Well. Sound like Grace yet? Anyway, look at who took another tumble recently, right down the rabbit hole during the second quarter of 2023. Well, there were a lot of them, but surprise, surprise, it's actually the pay TV sector. And boy, did they deliver or over-deliver on the expectations that were set for them. Yikes. And if you're hoping for a flicker of hope, I'm sorry to disappoint you, because the traditional cable and satellite subscriber declines made sure to hit new record lows. This decline actually accelerated faster than anyone, including me, could have predicted. But don't worry, there's even more here. The virtual MVPD levels weren't about to be outdone in the slacking department. And just to sprinkle on some more gloom to this unappetizing dessert, even broadband decided to throw itself into the ring of mediocrity. And this is really starting to freak out the entertainment companies, because there is a dirty little secret out there. I'm going to share it with you here today. You ready? Here we go. Now, before we get to that bombshell, the bombshell revelations, because there's more than one actually, we have a few more sorties of bad news. See, DirecTV, which was the beacon of, well, something at one point in time, saw its total subs plunge below 50 million for the first time in the second quarter. Hey Grant, do you have that slow clapping meme clip thing?
Clap, 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 clap.
No?
That's a slow clap for a champ.
Yes? Okay. Now let's bring together the cool kids of, well, all of these providers. We've got Comcast, Charter, Altice USA, Dish, and Verizon. And there's some other smaller ones mixed in there as well, but those are the big ones. And it's almost heartwarming how they managed to achieve the steepest year-over-year loss ever, swooping down a disheartening 3.8 million customers. It's a heck of a loss. And guess what? This is the same annual loss trend that doesn't seem to be a fluke any longer. It's actually, well, similar to last year, which actually lost 3.6 million in the same time frame. Hey, at least they've got consistency. And I'm gonna do some math because, you know, I like math. Reaching back to the thrilling days of Q2 of 2021 to add everything up going forward, these 5 MVPD operators collectively waved goodbye to a staggering 7.4 million subscribers by the time we get to the video I'm recording today. And that certainly must be some kind of a record, I imagine, but it's certainly not a record that they'd put up on their wall. And strangely, all of these events must have inspired Alphabet, the master of secrets, of course, to give us a peek, a very rare peek into its YouTube TV subscribers. And the chances that YouTube TV, being the secretive superhero here, snatching people from other services, is about as likely as finding a unicorn in the subway. Yikes, mixing my metaphors here. But they managed to eke out some survival points when it comes to gaining subscribers. But we're going to come to the super secret thing that no one wants to talk about. Probably what you've been looking for since I mentioned it in the intro to the video. When it comes to streamers that deliver those same TV services to your home, your expectations would be straight to the moon, right? They should be going gangbusters. Yet, when it comes to things like Sling TV, Hulu with Live TV, and Fubo TV, things that, well, are all attached to other companies but should reflect positively, they did their ever-loving best to promote a gain combined of 732,000 new subscribers. Wait a minute, 3.8 million, 732. That's right, nearly 90% of those who have cut the cord have given a hearty farewell to pay TV in pretty much all of its forms. But don't let your heartache over the demise of cable TV keep you from seeing the bigger picture, because there is one. We have to talk about the TV networks now. Oh, those TV networks. You better brace yourselves. While obviously some genius figured out that the strikes that they're currently suffering from saved the network's money, thank you, by the way, David Zaslav, the reality check is that content is simply on a terminal vacation, and the patient is, well, very close to terminal. And you know what happens when viewers notice that their favorite shows are actually missing in action? They start cutting cords like they're a small town's brand new mayor. For networks, this should be a wake-up call, served with a side of cold sweat panic. With content dwindling and cord cutting soaring, the days of fat affiliate fees that they used to get are melting away faster than a snowman in the summer. And yet, there's a lot of puzzling logic here. Networks may want to consider charging more for less is not exactly a winning strategy. They're going to have to cut back. But then again, who needs logic when there's an infinite abyss to dive headlong into? And I would suggest, well, many of them are already in freefall. Worse yet, of course, is the linear distribution folks. They thought that their broadband offerings were the ticket to salvation because, people have cable internet. Well, they were quite wrong. They believed that their snug little geographic footprints could keep the growth party going indefinitely. But, of course, spoiler here, broadband subscriptions aren't a ramp to heaven any longer, or at least not to the promised land. And revenue projected for an endless boom, that used to be what they planned for, yeah, well, that margin is nearly evaporated entirely. Now, to the double secret probation thing that nobody is talking about. Streaming is not reaping the rewards that you would expect from all of this cord cutting. In fact, that major streaming entities here in the US are finding, well, a loss. Netflix is actually the only one that's not stagnating or losing ground, and I wonder why nobody is talking about that. Anyway, so here we are, at the crossroads of reality and some sense of delusion from those in charge of these companies, where obviously the broadband party is over and TV networks are realizing that they're not exactly printing money anymore, despite the fact that they really are the bulk of the ad market. And it's time for everyone to embrace the fact that the TV landscape isn't immune to change, no matter how many cables you try to tie it down with. If you're an executive and need any assistance accepting this harsh truth, don't worry, I'm here for you. I'll talk you through it. Because, hey, I'm cable and satellite free. And as WDW Pro always says, while my part of the video is over, your part has just begun. Let me know what you think of these numbers, the missing 3.8 million cable cutters, recently year over year, and the surprising notion that people aren't moving on to other paid TV products. Not at commiserate rates anyway. 90% difference, holy cow. Also, are you surprised to find that streaming isn't growing as fast as people are cutting cables? That's probably the big one, I expect. Most surprising to most people. And as always, I'll end like this. Take care of yourself and others. Hit that like button below, share the video out there, and until next time, see ya!